Omatosho with another interview with Inspired to Action. Today we have Ericka Symonette here. She's going to talk to us about her business and what inspired her. Hi, Ericka.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a busy day, but no complaints. The weather's beautiful, so that always puts me in a good mood.
That same here with me. Thank you for being able to talk with us about your business. So tell us about who you are and your business.
Okay, well, my name is Ericka Symonette, and my business is called Pulchritude Boutique. I'm a high school fashion marketing teacher, and that's kind of what sparked my interest in starting my own business. I've always wanted to teach, but I never wanted to retire from teaching. So I didn't really know, like, I only planned on teaching for 5 years, and this is like my 13th year. So like way off of my path. But I still never really had that desire to retire from, teaching high school. I do want to be a college professor. And, at some point I want to work for myself. So in thinking about what to do, I thought, opening a boutique or a store would be great. It would be great for me to have something in addition to my teaching career where I could segue out of it at some point. But then also the process of me starting it has been such a benefit to my classroom and to me as a teacher. Each school year, I hire some of my students, my juniors and senior students, to be my interns for the boutique, which is something completely separate from the classroom, but it adds to what they're learning in the classroom, and it gives them a lot of real world experience of me being a small business owner, being a mom and a wife, and, managing all of the things I have going on. It's good for them to see firsthand. Starting a business is not for the faint of heart. It's not just the trendy thing to do when you just wake up and start your plan and get moving and it just boom, you blow up. That's not how it works. So for teenagers, it's really good for them to kind of see that behind the scenes thing. And at Pulchritude, we sell women's clothing. The goal in starting it was to not just start another boutique, but to start a boutique that fulfills a purpose, that gives back, has some global impact. So it's more than just about clothes. I want to empower women. The word pulchritude means extraordinary physical beauty. So it's about empowering women and making them feel beautiful on the inside and the outside. And, just having a global impact, giving back. One of the causes that we want to help are providing resources to women and girls who have been rescued from human trafficking. So that's kind of the lane that we're in providing support for that.
So when you started the boutique online, was it always going to be included with high schoolers? Were you always going to be working with high schoolers, or did you just start this and it sort of evolved into working with your students and bringing them in along to work on the website and the boutique?
Yeah, that's how it was. When I first started it, I started it online because, from a financial perspective, that was the easiest path for me to go on. I do want to have brick and mortar stores. So I don't want to stay online only. I want to have actual stores. But I started it just kind of as my idea to fulfill another avenue of my passion, to set up something that can help me transition out of the classroom. And I actually had a fashion student who was looking for internship opportunities. And typically, fashion internships are for college students, so it's really hard for high school students to get them. So I said, hey, this is before I even launched the boutique. I was like, hey, you can come help me. I'm starting a boutique. We can handle it. It'll be something completely separate than the class, so it doesn't have any effect on your grade or anything like that. But you can help me get this thing off the ground and get started and all of that. So I took her through a formal interview process and did all that. And she was, I think, maybe in the 10th grade, but she had great style, just great passion for fashion. And so I hired her. She still actually works with me now. She's in college. She just turned 21 like a couple weeks ago. But
wow.
She was my first intern. And it really just started off as like something, hey, just help me. You can put this on your resume. I'll help. You can help me with buying. You can help me with merchandising, with setting up the website and all of this. And it just kind of evolved to where like we're working together and we're like, man, we really need a social media intern. Like we really need somebody to help with that. And another girl in the class, this was months later, was like, hey, I can do social media. And so we kind of looked at each other. Her name is Kelly. We kind of looked at each other like, you want to interview to work for Pulchritude? So we interviewed her together, and I gave Kelly that like interview experience of helping me interview someone. And so then we added Maritza, and she was doing social media. And then we're like, we need somebody to do PR. And as we did more with the business and as it grew, we began to see like the needs that we had. So then all of a sudden I've got like a team of 5 interns because we needed social media, we needed merchandising, we needed PR, we needed business development, so we just devised all of this, basically from that one interaction with Kelly, just trying to help her out. And now like she's done so much. Now she takes pictures for the website because she's photography. And so each year, I'll bring in, because they graduate, some of them go to college, all over the country. So I'll bring in new girls and, kind of start the process over again. So I love it. They love it. And it's really worked. We're like a little family.
Yeah, that's great how it worked out, that you were able to help them, assist them, because you're really giving them practical knowledge on the things that they want to do. They're interested in fashion. They have to know these things if they're willing to go forward in this business. So that was really key and very strategic on your behalf in regards to getting the high schooler students to work with you. What, do they get any extra credit, or do they get paid sometimes for helping you out, or is this strictly internship?
It's strictly internship. I don't give them anything for school, like for the class, because I do try to keep it like separate, like a job. But I try to do things for them. Like I get them birthday gifts and Christmas. We have like our Christmas dinner, and I'll treat them. I give them free merchandise, just stuff like that, where I can show them my appreciation for them and for them helping me. And I am actually trying to build up to giving them a small stipend. So at first, when I hired interns, they would just be the intern for the entire year or for whenever. But now I'm breaking it up more like college internships do. So it's in a semester system. That way, if the relationship is really not working, like after the semester's over, you don't have to come back in the spring or whatever. But
and there's no hard feelings.
No hard feelings. Fine, your assignment's over. We're moving on. So, but I'm trying to work it out so that I can give them a stipend at the end of that semester, so that they can get something.
Yeah, that would be nice. But just the experience that they're getting alone is priceless. So absolutely. That's really good. So were you always interested in fashion, or how did fashion become your business?
I think I've always had a level of interest in clothing and dressing well, and outfits. Once I graduated from Howard as a marketing major, and I was teaching for a little bit, first grade, kindergarten. And when I looked to teach in a public school and I started researching, I noticed that Fairfax County had marketing in high school. So I was like, okay, that seems like a perfect situation, because I wanted to teach and I was not using my marketing degree up until that point. So it's like, okay, so maybe I should look into this. And when I started looking at the marketing classes that were offered, there was sports and entertainment marketing, there was international, just regular straight marketing classes, and they had fashion. So when I was looking at all of my options, I was like, well, fashion definitely is the one that seems most attractive to me. And so that's how I got introduced into the fashion marketing teaching part of it. And over the years of me teaching, like my love for fashion has just grown, like for the industry, because with teaching and marketing and fashion, those things are always evolving and always changing. So I'm always studying, I'm always learning more, I'm always reading magazines, books, and stuff like that. And the more I absorbed, the more I just began to love it. And my passion just grew from there. And so the business was just kind of birthed out of that. I don't know if I would have started a fashion business if I hadn't gone on the path of being a fashion teacher. I think I would have started some type of business, but not necessarily a boutique if I hadn't gone on this path.
Okay. So what are some things that you have learned along the road? Because you have had your boutique open for
like
how many years?
The fourth year.
It's been a long road, because I remember when you first mentioned it, to a group of us, and we were like, wow, that's really exciting. So what are some things that you have learned along the road that you can assist someone to maybe avoid if they're thinking about maybe starting some type of boutique or some type of online, because right now it's online, but I know that you want to have a store soon. But if they want to start some type of boutique or some type of store online, what information could you give them? Some pitfalls, some things that you've learned so they can avoid those in the future.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and I'm sure entrepreneurs all over the world can attest to this, is that money is always a factor. Like money, capital, like you don't want money to stop you though. If that was the best advice my husband gave to me, was in the beginning before I started it, and I didn't have money to start a business. I was just like, I can't start a business, I have no money. And he was always like, don't let money stop you. Go ahead and get your plan, get moving. That way, if somebody came to you and said, hey, I've got $10,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 I want to invest in a business, you have to have something to show them. So if you haven't started anything, nobody's going to give you money off of an idea that hasn't been worked out or thought out or written out or anything like that. So I would say don't let money stop you. Don't let that be a factor to you getting started. One of the biggest things that I didn't anticipate, which no one ever really told me, I had no idea. I didn't understand enough about how taxing works for business. And, you know, when you're thinking of a boutique, you're thinking of clothes and, you know, styling and photo shoots and all this kind of stuff. But back to the practical nature of things, I didn't understand how to file my taxes. And that in the first 3 years, I had to file taxes every month. Well, I didn't understand that until like month number 10. So like I've had all this time where I didn't do that. So some of the laws and that type of stuff, definitely research that stuff, or get someone partnering with you who understands how that stuff works, because then I started spending money that I could have spent on merchandise, on making sure that taxes were paid and all of this other kind of stuff. So that was one of my huge things I tell people, like understand the laws and the taxes and how that stuff works for a business. And then I would say, you know, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And it's because of all of the plates that I have in front of me, because I am a teacher full time. I am a mom. I just had a baby 6 months ago. You know, I'm a wife, you know, my kids are busy, that I'm a dancer and a drummer and have all these things. So it's not like I just have a plethora of time. I don't even know what I was thinking starting a business. I always say that, like, where did I even think that was a good idea? Because I have so much stuff going on. But really just making time for it every day. If it's just a small amount of time, like carving out 30 minutes or an hour or wherever, where I can go to Panera or I can go somewhere and just be by myself and work on something related to Pulchritude, because that consistency over time begins to build things. But when you like wait and you're like, oh, I don't have time for this, I'm doing that and that, time just moves past you. And then you look up and it's like a month and you haven't made any posts, or you haven't written a blog, or you haven't posted new merchandise. So being consistent with the time you dedicate to it is very, very key. And that push, like, there's always something that comes up, like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. That would have been great. Oh, I didn't know that. You know, so just constantly pushing past all of the things that come at you and just focusing on getting it done, you know, focusing on getting it done.
That is true. You make a lot of good points. It's important to research prior to doing these things, so you can avoid some things. But some things just come up that you could do all the research. Sometimes people get stagnant and they research and researches and no action. Right. So like you said, you got to push forward. That was really good advice that your husband gave you, not to quit even though the money wasn't there, because there's all times of situations that will come up that you're not able to focus on it, but you got to keep moving. Right. Because at the end of the day, it's a great testament to your children that, you know, wow, my mom was doing a lot of things. However, she was able to still maintain herself as a businesswoman and to pursue her goals, even though she had us and she was doing everything for us. So that's really great.
Absolutely.
What makes your online boutique, Pulchritude, different from any other online boutique?
I think that it's funny. I have said before, like, the world doesn't need another boutique. Like there's boutiques for everything. We have enough boutiques, but what we don't have is enough businesses that are out here doing socially conscious things. So I wanted to start Pulchritude. I definitely wanted to, have great customer service and fast shipping and great merchandise, and wanted to make women look and feel beautiful with the things that they wear. But on the flip side, I want this business to serve a greater purpose in the world at large. And I always go back to Tom's shoes and how, everybody knows the model of Tom's now. It's a 1-to-1. You buy a pair of shoes, they donate a pair of shoes. And I don't think that model works for Pulchritude, but Tom's is synonymous with giving back. They're synonymous with giving the shoes, or now they give glasses. Like they are synonymous with that. And I want Pulchritude to be one of those businesses that, yes, we're out here doing our thing in fashion, but we're doing our thing in fashion because we want to bless someone else and we want to be able to help. And, there are so many needs. Like it can get overwhelming. When I started thinking of, okay, I want to give it back, I thought about that day one, but I'm like, okay, so what's the need? Like, is it teen pregnancy? Is it homelessness? Is it homeless children? Is it homeless women? Is it domestic violence? Is it human trafficking? Like, what is the need? There's so many things. But, praying through that, like I felt like providing resources for the women and children who are being rescued from human trafficking. A lot of those girls, like the average age of a human trafficking victim is like 12 or 13.
Right, correct.
That's a middle schooler,
right.
And so me having daughters and me working with all of these teenage girls in my fashion classes, it was just kind of like one of those things. I really wanted to stay away from it because human trafficking is a very painful, dark kind of a thing.
Right.
But, I don't want to be selfish, in what I'm doing. I don't want to necessarily give in the way that's most comfortable for me. Those people need help. And although it's uncomfortable and although it's very hurtful, I'm in a position to be able to do something. So right now, like we can't really give money because I don't have money to give,
Right.
So I'm always looking for opportunities where me and the interns, we can give our time, we can give our prayers or, just stuff that we can do to help. Right now we're working on developing a small line of merchandise, just different pieces where the proceeds from those pieces can go to an organization specifically that deals with that, with providing resources and stuff like that. So I think that's what makes us different. Like, yes, it's a boutique, but it's a boutique that's trying to serve a greater purpose. So when you shop with us, you're not just putting money in my pocket or sending my daughter to dance or whatever, like you're actually helping a much larger problem that's going on all over the world.
Yeah, that really speaks strong about your business values and that you want to give back. It's not like you said, this is not just for you, this is for the global community, and also to raise awareness to other people that may not, for whatever reason, if they haven't heard about human trafficking, they'll know about it by coming across your website.
Right.
So tell me 3 skills that you think it's important for an entrepreneur to have.
I definitely say, being at the very basic level, keeping things organized, like the paperwork, the filing, and all of that kind of stuff. Because when you're an entrepreneur, a lot of times you are a dreamer, or like you have a passion for something and you want to start this business to work that out. But there's a huge administrative part to that. So making sure that you're on top of those administrative things that you need to do. So keeping organized. I would say maintaining your focus, because there are so many things that come to distract you. So being focused, having that perseverance, that tough, strong-minded focus on what you want to do. And then I think it's very important to be your authentic self, and bring yourself to the table, because in whatever business you start, there are other businesses like it that exist in some way. So, not getting caught up in the comparison trap, especially if you're doing a fashion boutique. there's so many boutiques, not comparing yourself to this person and that person and what they're doing and all that stuff. Yes, looking at them and learning from them, but being your authentic self. Like, and I don't necessarily know that that's a skill, but I think that that's definitely an important thing you have to do, is bring yourself to the table, because whatever you're called to do is what you are called to do. So
that's so true. Be true to who you are and what you're
Yes.
called to do. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, and be true to whatever your brand is, like whatever you say that you want to do, like be true to that. Like stay on that path and do what you have to do, no matter what other people are doing or saying.
Right, right. That's definitely key. Because a lot of times you get to looking and you're seeing what other people are doing, and you get off track and get off focus. But
and it makes you feel bad about yourself sometimes.
It's good to look. Yeah, no, you need to look and be aware of what's going on, what are some of the trends, but stay to your vision. Whatever God has given you is your vision, and He's going to fulfill it. And you make sure that you're not trying to do somebody else's, because it's not going to work out like that. It's whatever He gave you is going to work out for you. So that's really great. Great advice. 3 things that you can, what are some takeaways that you can give people if they want to start a business tomorrow? What are some things that you can suggest to them that they need to do?
Definitely read all that you can about the thing that you want to do. So like for me, it was fashion and clothing. It was researching boutiques, and every time I go into a city, a new city, or if I'm traveling or if I'm somewhere I've been, I'm always going into stores and soaking up as much as I can. So through books, through you going, soak up as much information as you can, because you really want to be the expert in your field. So having that depth of knowledge is definitely key. And then having conversations, which is something I'm not good at. Having conversations with people who are doing what you want to do or not, you know, somebody who maybe is an entrepreneur, but in something completely different. Just having conversations with people really with no agenda except for you to soak in what they're saying. And like I said, that's just not something I'm good at. It's something my husband is very skilled at and is always encouraging me to do. But for some reason, I don't know. And I'm very social. Like I'm more social than he is. But for some reason, when it comes to like just having a conversation like, hey, Tara, let's just talk. I just want to pick your brain. I'm just not good at that. But I feel like that's very, very important, because you never know when having these conversations, especially with people that you don't know who's connected to who or what kind of opportunities people hear about or know about or whatever the case may be. So having conversations with people and meeting with people is just, I feel like that's such a key thing. I'm working on that. I'm really working on that. So yeah, I think those two things are most important.
Yeah, I agree. I think the conversations are important to get out there and network. But like you said, if you're not the type of person to do that, you might need to work on some things. That's the reason why I came up with something like this website, because we can have the conversation and people can get to know who you are through this medium. But not everybody is able to, maybe this may not be comfortable to some other people. So I do have to get out there and talk to people. And sometimes I agree, that's not always my style. Because not that I want something from anybody. I really am just totally interested in how people start their business, what inspires them to start, and what gets them going. Because I see so many people talking about starting a business or talking about writing a book or talking about doing all these things, but no action. And I'm like, well, why don't you act? What is behind this non-action? And I think it's because I know it's fear and stepping out into the uncomfortable. However, if there's a lot of people out there doing it, and you see this trend that people are moving despite, they may be a single mother, they may be a home mother, they may have all these barriers, but still moving. Hopefully that will inspire them to start as well, because you don't want to die with your dream and your vision inside of you.
No, you don't.
My husband always says, like, die empty. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to die empty too.
Yes, that's real. That is so real. And time is moving. Like I'm always thinking, like, time is still moving. Like, I don't want to be like looking up and I'm 40 or 45 or 55 right. and I'm still having the same conversations about what I want to do. Like, you don't want that. You don't want that. Now is the time.
Right, now is the time. And also, you don't want to be looking up and seeing someone else doing what you have already been called to do.
Right.
Yes.
Right, because God will use someone else. You know.
Yes, He will. He will. Absolutely. It may not be the same as yours, but and even if that time has passed you, I've always tell people, like, still move forward, because there's more than one McDonald's, there's more than one Burger King, there's more than all these businesses that do the same thing out there. So don't stop on your dream because you think someone else did it. But when the unction comes unto you to get this idea, or you're awakened in the middle of the night because of this great idea, let's play it out. What could it hurt? What could it hurt? So,
absolutely.
I think that's really been shown in your life, because like I said, I know Ericka personally, and I remember her mentioning to a group of ladies about this boutique that she started, and it was really amazing. And I'm just really glad that you took action on what God has given you, and to see it in fruition, to be able to go to the website. And they want to go to the website. What's the website? What's your contact information?
Yeah, so because pulchritude is such a complicated word, but if you've seen Aquila and the Bee, she had to spell pulchritude to win the bee. So watch that movie. Pulchritude was her word, but the website is shoppulchritude.com, and pulchritude is Pulchritude. So Pulchritude, shoppulchritude.com is the website, and you can go there. We're kind of in transition right now on the website of trying to get old stuff off so we can get new stuff on. Since I had the baby, I haven't been doing much of anything with that, but we're redoing that for spring, summer. And yeah, that's it. Just come shoppulchritude.com. And that's our handle for Instagram and Facebook and Twitter as well. Shop Pulchritude.
All right. Great. Thank you again for joining us today on Inspire into Action. Thank you, Ericka, for sharing all your words of wisdom. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I love this. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I just pray that it's inspiration to other people, and that they can learn from these videos and take action.
Yeah, absolutely. This is awesome.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, girly.
All right.
Bye-bye.